Signore e signori,
dichiaro aperta la celebrazione Giochi Olimpici Invernali.
Si sta avvicinando allo stadio.
Forza, forza! Vai, 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 vai! Dal record della pista! Record della pista! Prima!
Buongiorno and welcome to Keep the Flame Alive's Day 2 coverage of the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympic Games. I am your host, Jill Jaracz, coming to you from Schockflastan House in Milano, joined as always by my lovely co-host, Alison Brown. Alison, ciao, como stai?
Ciao. I'm a little troubled that your light-up bracelet from the opening ceremony is still glowing. I've posted it everywhere, and I just want to let people know it is still going.
It blinks like every half second, and it's just yellow, one color. I would love it if it was multiple colors. Listener Charlotte, who I went to the ceremonies with, said she had to pry hers open to take the batteries out, but we're just going to see how long it works. Because I tried to pry it open today and didn't get too far, and I just was like, I got time.
I am imagining Kirsty Coventry is trying to drill those message of peace into our heads subliminally through the flashing light.
Oh man, what a day it has been here at the Olympics. Tons of stuff going on. I think I found our segment for this edition of the games, and it's called What We Forgot to Tell You Last Night. Because invariably we turn off the recorder and about 30 seconds later, I remember about 5 things I forgot to mention.
That's okay. We're working on a different schedule, and every show has a segment we do not anticipate.
That's right. So yesterday, I forgot to mention that in the Olympic fan zone, met a lovely couple, Barbara and Paul from Houston, who saw my lanyard with pins on it and were like, "Are you trading?" And I said, yes. And then they each pulled out a little pouch, a little tiny portfolio thing of pins so they could trade. They were very excited. They were also in Paris and had very rough times. So they were excited to be in Italy and were having a good time. So
they're seeing much more pin trading?
Yes. I think so. I mean, it was pretty non-existent in Paris, and all the pin traders, everybody who likes trading pins, it's good to have it back. It really is. It's so much fun. You meet somebody new and talk to them. I've got pin trading stories coming up. We did not talk about the podium mascots for the medal ceremony.
You do get a mascot. You don't get any weird poster in a roll.
Not only do you get one mascot, you get 2 mascots connected to each other somehow. Oh. Did you notice that is one unit? It's a Tina and a Flo connected to each other.
Do you remember that Hallmark used to have the kissing reindeer?
Oh, yeah. Well, the Kiss Kiss Bears.
Yes. So maybe it's a magnet inside each of them that are connected. So you can separate them and divorce them, or you can bring them back together.
Well, I hope that they can be, I don't know. I kind of want them to be taken apart, but I haven't seen them up close. I would like to know, can you take them apart? Have you noticed in Milan the prevalence of fur coats?
I honestly thought we talked about this, but I may have just talked about it with myself in my head, because not only is the fur coat everywhere, a lot of them are not fake fur. There is real fur happening. And in the little market that's near our near Schockflastan House, there is a whole stall.
Oh, is there a whole fur coat stall?
Yes. So yesterday, I guess it was, the market was on when I left in the morning, and there was an entire stall of furs.
It's incredible. There are many. This is like smoking almost. I am not used to seeing so many fur coats. And
on men?
Yes. And it's not even cold enough for a fur coat. It really is not that cold here.
Okay, so when I was growing up, the church that we went to, on Christmas Eve, the first coats would come out. It didn't matter what the temperature was, the women would break out their fur coats because it was Christmas Eve. That's what this is like here. It doesn't matter if it's cold enough for a fur coat. They're wearing the fur coat. It's winter.
conversation with producer Ben. He's like, those three guys with the big heads from the opening ceremony, that's Puccini, Verdi, and Rossini, which actually is in my little program, had I read it.
Well, I got one right.
There you go. We have had listeners ping. I've had listeners ping me about protests going on here in Milan. CNN reported that there was a peaceful anti-Olympics protest that went into the vicinity of the athletes' village. Then it turned not so peaceful because some of the people got a little violent and they threw firecrackers and smoke bombs towards the village, but nothing was close enough to any of the buildings there. Then they started throwing firecrackers and smoke bombs at cops, who responded with tear gas and water cannons, and so that's going to make the news. I don't know what to say, just that it's happening. We didn't see any mention of this.
Nor have we seen any increased police presence at the venues or anything.
No,
anything abnormal. If
Right.
you hadn't just told me, I would not have been aware.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for listener Anna.
It's funny what we're aware of here and what people are aware of at home. You know what I'm very aware of here is J.D. Vance is getting booed everywhere he goes.
Really?
Yes, because I was once again at a hockey game yesterday. Since we're in the, I forgot to mention this. And whenever he comes in or goes out,
Oh, really?
boos raining down upon him. And this was at the U.S. game, of course, with a
Wow.
very heavy U.S. Presence in the stands. So these aren't just Europeans who are booing him. These are Americans here
Wow.
booing him.
And it's not like he's got a name like Luke and you could say that's a boo.
No, there's no doubt that he is being booed, as he was booed at the opening ceremony when he went on the screen. The American athletes are not being booed in any way. It seems to be very directed at Vance or Marco Rubio, who was here as well.
Yeah, our Secretary of State. All right. We've got a new day of coverage. So that means we have a new job that we would want to do. What officiating or volunteer job would you want to do?
So excited about my job. So was at figure skating this evening, and because it's a team event, they have the country boxes for the skaters and coaches to sit in to cheer on their countrymen. There's a volunteer that kind of hangs around those boxes, which means there was a poor volunteer who had to wrangle Barbara Fusser-Poli, who was an Italian ice dancer, now a coach, and is famed for the look that she gave her partner at Turin after one of the original dances. So if you have never seen that meme, please go back, look it up. All you have to search for is Barbara Fusser-Poli face, and it will come up. It is a face that I aspire to be able to achieve one day.
Just go on YouTube and find their free dance from Torino 2006, because I did come across that in figuring out the theme here for Milano Cortina. And the commentary on that feed is delightful because they felt it. She wasn't even looking at them.
I am still afraid of Barbara Fusser-Poli because of that moment. So I give a lot of credit to that volunteer, but I would like to try.
All right. So I went to speed skating today, and I would like to talk about the prominent lack of table seating for media. Small venues. Speed skating actually did not have a bad size crowd for what kind of sport it is. So, okay, you've got decent amount of stands for what you're putting on. But everywhere I've been, there has been a big lack of tables. And I got a table at figure skating because I was there like 2.5 hours early.
I did not get a table, and I was over an hour early.
Yes, I was over an hour early to speed skating. Not much over an hour, but there's hardly any tables. Most of them are already claimed in that different outlets, especially OBS, they have assigned seats at tables, and commentary positions are there too. So I plopped myself down right at the finish line for speed skating. And what happens to be right at the speed right in front of me is a box with about 7 volunteers. 2 of them have clipboards. 5 of them have stopwatches. And they all time every lap and do splits. And they all compare times. And they write, and then the 2 with the clipboards write them down. I want to be in that bunch.
Oh, that is a job tailor-made for you. Clipboards and timers.
It is awesome. A good chunk of my morning was cultural today.
Yes, you went to houses.
I went to Korea House. I had so much fun.
Oh,
at
I'm so
Korea
glad.
House. Korea House. Korea House is free. You have to register and get a ticket, but it is free. Now, let me tell you what I got at Korea House. I have an entire little bag of stuff. Starting with there are 2 different pavilions, and I did the far one first, and then the main one. It's in some kind of plot, so that has a lovely courtyard with a little pool in it. And so I went to the back pavilion, and you go in, and the first thing you can do is decide what kind of traveler are you, and therefore what kind of what places in Korea should you go to. So that was a lovely touchscreen thing. Although I bet they all say the same stuff, because I got like five or 6 cities I should go to. But you got a little boarding pass thing.
Cute.
There's a little booklet for a staycation. And then the next stand over was a food manufacturing company. And if you followed them on Instagram, you got...
Oh. Did you get samples?
The ginger ramen. And then you got the spicy cup of ramen.
Oh, you are so happy now.
Yeah, I know. Got some dinners. I was talking with producer Ben. He's like, "You be careful about that spicy stuff. You don't know what spicy it is." I said, "Well, you can try it." And then
level of spice varies apparently.
And then the next booth over was Olive Young makeup for Olive Young Beauty. And if you went and you had to take a little quiz, which was, what's the top makeup beauty provider in Korea?
Is it Olive Young?
Yes, that would be it.
Yes.
And I got a little pouch.
Nice.
And where is it?
You got this is more swag than we've gotten from anywhere.
And lip gloss, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Score.
Then the next booth over from that was like scents of the different cities. They didn't. They had like little bookmark type things that explained what the scent was, and they had dishes with stones that had the scent,
smell.
so you could smell everything. Then they had a stage. And they had a photo booth where you could put on some costumes and take photos. There was another little photo selfie station in there. And then they had a shop with some Team Korea stuff, some stuff from Korea, and then like Korea House stuff. So I got a Korea House pin, and because I was having such a good time. Then went outside, and they had a food stand. They also had a beer sponsor there, but they weren't serving any beer.
Too early.
Well, I don't even know if they pulled it out, but the beer sponsor had metal stickers, gold, silver, and bronze.
Oh, those are
of
nice.
that. And then I got some food. I got a little cup of chicken, fried chicken that was a little spicy, a little sweet, with some peas on top. And then they also had like fish on a stick thing, but it was battered, and a sweet, and then a pork rice bowl. They were sold out of beverages, and I was there maybe 12 o'clock, 12:30. It was
Hopefully the beverages became replenished at some point during the day.
Then I went to the second building, and that was about play. So they had several different Korean games, like some kind of like pickup dice kind of thing, throwing arrows into a bucket, their version of hacky sack, and there were a couple other things, a little mini curling sheet out that you could throw things on. And then they had another photo booth. This one I did, and they give you 2 little photo strips of 4. You can put little stuff on. So I have little tiger ear headband, and then these funky like blocks glasses on.
Nice.
That was sweet. And then I met Barbara and Bradford, from Chicago, and I could guess they were from Chicago because I traded for the Chicago Pope pin that they had. Looks like a White Sox logo.
Very proud of their Chicago Pope.
Some other booklets and a map and stuff. And
Nice.
it was just like, and then I took the survey on the way out, and I got another sheet of Korea House stickers. Yeah, I know, Korea House for free. It was amazing, and it'd be fun to. It was fun because I talked with some Italian people while I was eating because we were sharing a table. Talked with Bradford and Barbara, and just had such a great time and exploring everything. It was like they put so much into this, and there were so many things to do. It was just a lot of fun, and I didn't even see any kind of performances.
Was it busy?
It was somewhat busy, but
Okay,
it wasn't packed. But if you're listening on the go and you go, well, I would like to go to Korea House, I would say register online because you get a little QR code, and then there's a line for people who have already registered and a longer line for people who need to register. So I got to skip the line.
Nice.
I highly recommend it. So much fun. So that was Korea House. I do recommend you go.
I'll think about it because I was going to do something today. Mm-hmm. I was going to go over to the Cauldron, but I got myself a little lost on my way. So I saw a lot of streets. And then I didn't want to be late for where I was actually going.
Okay.
And it was starting to get a little dark-ish. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? I'll just go to figure skating. I see a metro. It was one of those moments where I saw a metro station and I know that all the metros connect. Mm-hmm. So I said, it doesn't matter what this metro station is. It'll get me to M2, which will get me to figure skating. And it did. So I got to where I was planning to go, but didn't get to where I was trying to go. But I did walk the streets of Milan. And I was singing in my head, Milano Cortina.
Okay.
Oh. I know, nobody is singing the song.
They put effort into creating the song that is supposed to be shoved down our throats at every venue. And I have not heard it since the opening ceremonies. It is so much fun.
And there's a dance.
I don't get what's wrong with the lackluster pre-game entertainment or in-house entertainment. They should be singing this non-stop.
Agreed.
Oh, come on, Milano Cortina. You have a fun song and a dance. Make it happen. All right, so we got results next, but before we get to them, we would like to take a moment to thank everyone who has donated to our fundraiser to get here or to get us here. And if you've just found the podcast, you know that we're doing 32 daily episodes from Milano Cortina over the course of the games. That's expensive to produce. And we are one of the few people who can bring you this experience. We are one of the few podcasts to publish episodes about the Olympics and Paralympics all year round. So if you get some Olympic fever or some Paralympic fever and after the games you just want to keep that going, stay tuned to us because we are the ones who keep you informed on what's going on and make you a smarter fan. So to make all of that happen, we do need help in keeping our flame alive. So if you appreciate this coverage, please go to flamealivepod.com/support. We have different options. You can donate as a one-off time. And if you'd like to become an ongoing patron, we have some patron-only exclusives throughout the games. Check it all out at flamealivepod.com/support. Results. You watched some feed in the morning.
I watched a lot of feed in the morning.
I watched a lot of feed at night. I got beefs.
Oh
my gosh. And I felt like it was the same guy doing Alpine and speed skating and figure skating. And I know I know that there's a lot of commentators who are just in a booth and they do whatever sport they're assigned for the day. This guy was like old school, and not old school in a good way. Old school in a like, oh, you got paired with a woman, and I really like it when the woman talks. because he would say things like, I can't even tell you what he said, but it was just like, ooh, should you say that kind of thing. He was talking a little bit about Lindsey Vonn and everybody wanted the Hollywood ending, blah, blah, blah. And almost sounded like maybe she shouldn't have been doing the downhill. For Amber Glenn, he said they showed her when they were on the medal podium, they showed the camera there, and he said they all played a big part, and the camera puts on Amber. Even you, Amber.
Wow.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I don't think he meant it. I just think you're a commentator and you just got to talk. And the stuff you don't know that's coming out of your mouth, like I don't know what's coming out of my mouth on this microphone, so good thing I don't listen to it. But I'm sure there are plenty of listeners who are like, Jill, do you know what you just said? And I would be like, no. But this guy really didn't know what he said. I had issues in biathlon.
Really?
Yes, because I watched some of I actually remembered that I forgot to tell you that on the train from Korea House to speed skating, a guy next to me had his phone out and he was watching biathlon. And I'm watching biathlon on my phone, not the feed. I'm watching the International Biathlon Union's app, which plays the game out in real time. So as people shoot, you see the dots go, and they do time checks a lot. So you can really follow along on your phone. And I love this app. That app crashed right at the beginning of the relay.
I think a lot of people love that app.
Yeah, they do. So I see the guy next to me. He's watching biathlon, and I start sneaking peeks. And then he's like sharing a screen. I'm like, oh, I love Doro, because I do love Dorothea Viera, and she was racing today. And all of a sudden we were at her stop.
Oh,
so,
no.
Well, we didn't find out what happened. But so I had to watch the rest when I got home because there was some things happened. We'll get to that in the results. And I wanted to see how it went. The biathlon people were talking about Lindsey Vonn.
Oh, well, it had just happened.
Yeah, but it's biathlon. I also had issues with the camera shots because once the top people that we had to relay today, once the top people finished shooting, that was it. They would show people coming out of the penalty loop, and then they would show like a random shot of scenery. And I just want to say, get back to the action.
Yeah, the random scenery shots are kind of classic in old school sports broadcasting, and it is like we know we're in the forest. Thanks.
Yeah. For all of the cool stuff that they've done, we got to work on biathlon again.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, we're going to start with Alpine skiing.
Speaking of Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah. Oh, man, what a day the mountain got her.
The mountain only got 3 people.
Which is good.
But man, it really got Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah.
It was so very quickly in the top of the hill, she got turned around, ended up back, just horrific crash.
Yes, she caught her arm through a gate, and that twisted her body around, and so she helicoptered out and crashed. It was horrific to watch. And actually, the feed announcer said after a couple of times, like, I don't think I need to watch this again.
Yeah.
It was rough. You could hear her screaming. They had to helicopter her out off the mountain. She's fractured her left leg, same leg that her ACL blew out. So she has had surgery. She's in stable condition. If she said, I will come back and do giant slalom, I would not be surprised. She's going to try it one more time.
You know, there is a lot of controversy happening in the American media / on social media that I got wind of that she shouldn't have raced because of that ACL, to which I say, she is a grown woman. Mm-hmm. Keep your mouth shut. She knows what she's doing. She can make a decision for herself. She knew the risk. She has been through enough accidents and crashes and surgeries to know which she was getting into. And she is a grown woman who can make choices with her own body.
And it wasn't necessarily her ACL. She just got caught up in a gate. And stuff like that happens when you're going 60, 70, 80 miles down an hour down a hill. That's, it's just kind of a freak accident. And stuff like this happens in downhill a lot. And it's just a reminder of how dangerous the sport is and how much risk they take. And that's part of the sport, and that's part of what makes it exciting. And they all make it look so easy in a way, even though you can see like the edges are hard and they're trying really hard on this hill in particular, because it's a tough one. But you forget, just like if you were on that hill going that fast, it's crazy.
You think you would hear screaming. You think you heard screaming today with Lindsey. Apparently the screaming and all that was cut out of the NBC broadcast.
Oh, okay.
So if you were in the United States and you hear us referring to this, that was in fact cut out. But on our feed,
which we get the HBO Max Discovery feed from Europe.
Yeah, so we were watching Eurovision and they just let it go and let it run. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Eurovision. I'll be hearing that in my dreams tonight. But on a good note, let's do the medalists.
Okay. Gold went to Breezy Johnson from the United States. Silver went to Emma Eicher from Germany. And bronze went to Sofia Goggia from Italy, who now has a full set of medals.
And there was a question on our Facebook group about if Breezy had in fact knitted her headband. And yes, she did. She finished it last night. And she made a point of saying she hopes she is able to donate it to someone who can auction it off for charity. So yay on that, Breezy Johnson.
Right. And she has to do a new one for each major race. And she said, I know that even if I did well in one of them, if I bring it back, it's not lucky anymore. So she is probably working on a new one for any other race she's doing this Olympics.
Right. She's doing giant slalom as well. Rather super G, excuse me. And she also broke her medal already.
Yes. And I was looking for that, but apparently she was jumping up and down and it fell off. The ribbon and the medal detached from each other. And she said, let's get this quote. It's definitely heavier than I expected. I think maybe that's why it broke. I don't know that the Italians are known for their engineering.
Well, she showed the pieces in her press conference. So she has the ribbon, she has the medal, and then she had this small piece that seemed to be the clasp that attached it. So when she jumped, the weight of the medal pulled at the clasp and snapped it. I think it's just a small piece of plastic or a small piece of metal. It's not. Yeah. It was not prepared for American enthusiasm.
I guess so. And she also did say, because I'm sure people in the media were asking about it, because she said, I mean, nobody in the media has offered to fix it. I assume someone will fix it. And I'm sure the organizing committee is going to get on that too sweet and probably send a message, don't jump in this thing. Let's not jump around.
No jump around in your medal.
So the top two finishers were incredibly close together, 0.04 of a second between them. Beyond the fact that it was a really rough day and a long break to help Lindsey.
Two long breaks for two crashes. So one for Lindsey and then there were two other crashes. One of the skiers skied down on her own power. The other required assistance as well.
Boy, what a day. Mountain got some people today. Let's hope that the next few races are not as traumatic. Let's move over to biathlon.
So you can complain some more.
No, it was it was good for the finish, for the top medalists. It was a surprising finish almost. And I think some jitters on Team USA.
Campbell Wright had a rough day.
He did have a rough day. USA was in bib number 5, I believe, and which means they were primed for depending on how everybody shoots, they could have slipped into the medals. Not likely, because we've got some really brand new Olympians. Deidre's the only one. Deidre Irwin is the only one who's a repeat. And I think this was, let's get the nerves out. Because of how they set up their race strategy, they did the 2 men first, then Deidre, then Margie Freed, I believe, or Maggie Freed. And she was the anchor, and she's a rookie. New. She is a rookie, and I think that was nobody did horrifically bad, but Campbell did like drop a bullet and had to scramble to get it. And he did a couple penalty loops, so I just think that the magnitude of what they're racing is there, and just they'll get it. They'll get it back. Gold went to France. Quentin Fillon-Maillet, one of the best biathletes in France. He was missing targets right and left. It was unbelievable. And thank goodness they have Luge and Julia Simone, who really clinched it for them. They just knocked it out of the park. Silver went to Italy.
Gotta love that. Lisa Vitozzi was a little bit happy at that finish line.
Oh, she did a little strategy apparently in the last shooting. She's like, I took it in a little slower because it was neck and neck with them and Germany. And the Germans messed up on the shooting stage.
But Lisa Vitozzi did not.
Slide it in. So she was a solid silver. And then bronze went to Germany. That was solid as well. Norway was at the top early on and just faded. Faded. It was really something when I saw the beginning of the race versus the end of the race. So my feed beast beyond this is that there's an Italian biathlete named Lucas Hofer, and there's a German biathlete named Franziska Preuss. And I heard Luki Hofer and Frankie Preuss. And maybe they're buddies and can call them nicknames and stuff. I don't know what the deal is with that. Although I heard that on the US feed, they butchered a lot of names.
Well, as someone who has butchered many a name
right.
in our shows, I keep my mouth shut for this.
They get paid.
That's
more
true.
Than we do. So they get paid more than we do, and they get training. So, and it wasn't Chad Samala and crew.
Oh, he would never.
Yeah, I know. He would never. But it was a tough watch all around. Moving over to cross-country skiing, the men had their 10K plus 10K skiathlon. Gold went to Norway's Johannes Høsflot Klæbo, who has been just a rock star for like 3 Olympics now.
Yes. So
he's just still so dominant in the sport. Silver went to France's Mathis Deloge, and bronze went to Martin Lundstrøm Neingint from Norway. And our Sjuklastani Gus Schumacher, who's representing Team Keep the Flame Alive, he finished 24th. A lot of curling going on today. I had triple screens going on here. I had figure skating. I had whatever else I was catching up on, so Alpine, then biathlon. Then I had to see something on speed skating that I couldn't see in the venue. And I also had curling on the big screen TV here because one of the Italian channels was playing the mixed doubles. So
and you're in the city, so I think that's quintuple screening in some fashion.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But we had a lot of doubles curling today, and a lot of things shook out in the standings. I did see a little bit of the Great Britain versus Italy match, which is on the last session of the day. It was a close one until the end. And Great Britain pulled it out 9-6 over Italy. But standing wise, Great Britain's 8-1, US 6-2, Italy's 5-3, Sweden is 5-4. All 4 of those teams have qualified on to the semifinals. Switzerland is 4-4. Canada and Korea and Norway are 3-5. Czechia is 2-6, as well as Estonia. And there is one more Robin session before there's one more round robin session before the semifinals start. So there's been a lot of curling, but boy golly, it's going to be over quickly. Moving over to figure skating, it was the end of the team competition tonight. You were there. I was screening it.
I was there. It was, I hope you got the excitement that we got in venue.
Oh, yeah.
Because pairs were first, and the U.S. team, Ellie Cam and Danny O'Shea, just lit it up. Wow. The standing O, people were screaming. And this was the first program of the night. They skated clean. It's a beautiful program. And it just got everybody going. And that energy carried straight through. We were talking the other day, or yesterday, or maybe possibly 3 weeks ago, about how there wasn't energy in the venue. And that was not the case tonight at all.
Well, yeah, and it's different because the screaming for and cheering for certain skaters, you get some like yays for some people, maybe, lower down on the pecking order. Then you get cheers for like a home crowd person. And then like Ilya Malinin comes in the room.
Right.
And it goes crazy. Or Kaori Sakamoto or Alyssa Liu. Just, you didn't know that they could scream louder.
And they do. And I don't know if you could see this on the feed. Georgia had a bedazzled flag.
Oh, did they really?
So every time they walked over to the kiss and cry, they would hold up this fully bedazzled flag. They deserve a medal just for whoever managed to pull that one off.
Well, and okay, so you talked about Ellie Cam and Danny O'Shea, which is amazing that they got cheers so loud because they were 4th out of 5 pairs. I mean, they're not the strongest pairs in the pecking order of the world and the pecking order of this team competition. So that could be expected, but for them to get that kind of cheering,
that's all they needed to do, actually, in terms of what was expected of them. Mm-hmm. Just skate clean and beat somebody so that you get that little bump of points, which
they needed. Spoiler alert.
So then we moved on to the women, and Amber Glenn struggled.
She struggled, and she got it back.
Yes.
And you could see that on the feed in the program. Like, you could see nerves going on because when they closed up or did the close-up on her, she looked a little nervous.
And before her, Anastasia Gubanova from Georgia skated and blew it out of the park. I haven't seen her skate like that since probably 2022.
Wow.
Probably maybe 24. But yeah, it was not only clean, but it was powerful and really, really beautiful. So she ended up beating Amber unexpectedly in that lineup. Kaori, of course, comes out and just...
It was beautiful.
Did you cry?
No, I think I would have cried more if I was in the
If you were there, yeah, it was...
And Kaori was crying in the box all over the place.
She does that. She cries and then she laughs that she's crying and then she cries some more because she's laughing at herself crying. It's her shtick. It's fabulous. And because the Georgians ended up ahead of the United States in that women's division, it messed up everybody in a way, because then you go into the men's section with the U.S. and Japan tied. But because of the way the tiebreaker pans out, Japan is actually in the lead because they had won 2 segments. They had won the pairs and they had won the women's. So they, even though the points were the same, were in the lead. So the U.S. had to win the men's. And out comes Ilya, and just with a toned down program and with a couple of step outs, still outscores everybody by a huge margin.
And poor Shun Sato.
Beautiful.
Oh, what a beautiful program he had. I mean, Ilya has, in both of these programs, showed nerves, maybe,
Yes.
or because he's coming in and he looks like he's skating with confidence and with authority, but there are these little tiny errors and they kind of add up a little bit over time.
Yes, it takes away those quality points, the artistic points, and he was really making some great strides in that area where his technical and his artistic were matching up score-wise, and that has not been the case in these two programs.
No, he's had a couple of flubs, which is uncharacteristic, and today it looked like he didn't know what to do with that because he's so used to being Mr. Reliable.
He sort of laughed at himself at one point on the ice during the program. He made a face like, I just screwed up. What do I do?
Yeah. Kind of like that. So weird because Shun Sato also came to play.
Yes,
oh
he
my
did.
gosh.
But who really came to play? Matteo Rizzo, the Italian. He just came out and so solid, so much energy, so much passion. And they were screaming Italia before he even finished the program from the box. Barbara Fusipoli started that. And he had finished his jumps and he's pumping his fist during the program because he knows that if he ends up third in the men's, Italy's going to end up with the bronze medal. And they did.
It was nice. It was really, really nice.
Yes. It's nice to see. And Laura Naki-Gutman also had a beautiful, clean program. So it was nice to see the Italians doing so well with skaters that they did not expect to do quite this well. You know, they were counting on Conti and Machi, who struggled a little bit and were beat by the Georgians. And then you had your two single skaters who you didn't know where they were going to shake out, really came through for them.
So yeah, by 1 point, the U.S. beat Japan and took the gold. And you came home before the medal ceremony.
I did. I was concerned about getting back because it is a good hour.
Things I saw on the feed. Laura Naki-Gutman got to talk to friends and family because they still have a screen backstage with that connection like they did in the COVID era. So that's nice. Our Shuklastani Spencer Howe was in the house. Box.
Yes,
that was nice that he was cheering people on.
Yeah, several of the not skating members of the teams in general were in the box.
That was nice. Before the medal ceremony, we saw a little bit of backstage on the feed with instructions being given. And then the commentators did say, look, most of the crowd is gone. We've been waiting a long time for this medal ceremony.
It was very long from what I understood.
Yeah, because they showed clips and highlights from around the day. And one of the cool things, I will say this was really cool with the feed, they would show stuff happening in different languages. So they'd start Luge and maybe it would be in English and then it'd switch to German. And then, maybe you'd go to another language. So that was really fun to listen to those highlights. But yeah, it took a long time. Who gave out the gold medals? Anita de France, IOC member.
I saw Kristen Klossner yesterday.
Did you? Oh,
I was like, hello, Mrs. Klossner.
I forgot to tell you.
It's not part of the segment. Oh. We're not in that segment anymore, Jill.
Okay, I'll remember to tell you tomorrow. So that was really good. People were crying. It was emotional. And one of the things they said on the feed was like, we got to get this medal ceremony going because those ice dancers have practice in the morning and they have rhythm dance tomorrow. So they need to get out of here and sleep. No celebrating for them. But it was a really good competition. And setting the tone for what the individual competitions are going to be, boy, we're going to have some good figure skating, I think.
This ice is not mean ice. It's nice ice.
Yeah, it is nice. We didn't see very many falls. I know Maddie Skeezes fell in her program, but like so many clean programs or just tiny, tiny little errors.
A few step outs, a few spin outs, but not, I not too many crash and burns, and nobody had a disaster of a program.
So that is good.
So that's a nice thing in a team competition, especially.
Let's move over to ice hockey. There were 2 games today. Sweden beat France 4-0, and then Czechia beat Finland 2-0. I've heard that the Finns do not look very good, even though they're back from being sick. So that is tough. Standings right now in Group A, U.S. is 2-0, Czechia is 1-2, Canada and Switzerland are 1-0 each, and Finland is 0-2. In Group B, Sweden is 3-0, Germany, Japan, and Italy are all 1-1, and France is 0-3. Over in Cortina, they had the finals of the men's singles luge, and gold went to Max Langenhahn from Germany, silver went to Jonas Müller from Austria, and bronze went to Dominik Fischnaller from Italy. Nice.
Which were the standings as of yesterday as well. So there was no movement up there at top.
Nice. The host country's pulling in some coin, some medal coin. So that's good. I see you noted here, Felix Loch finished 6th in his 5th Olympics.
That is ridiculous. That he's so close to the top still.
Yeah.
This man is a luge machine. He's like one of those drones going down the luge track. Yeah, we also got some notes in the Facebook group that people are really liking the drones in Alpine and in luge.
I will say having the drones on Alpine makes it so much fun because you see so much more of the course, and they're doing a really good job of doing like a whole point of view before the competition starts. So you see how treacherous is not a great word, but how difficult it is. And it's fun to go down the luge run too. It's fun to see the speed skating around the turns and hear the drone going and see all of the different robot cams. It's a lot.
I do love all the robot cams.
It is a lot. It's amazingly impressive how they put this all together. We're going to move over to snowboard. We had parallel giant slalom today. In the women's, Esther Ledeshka, who made headlines in 2018 because she was the first person to win gold medal in 2 different sports. This was one of them, and she was also in downhill. And in the Alpine category, I can't remember exactly what her other gold medal was in. She was having to choose which sport to do in Milano Cortina because both of her events were on the same day, and she could not make that work. Timing-wise, obviously.
Can't be in 2 mountains at once.
No. So she ended up choosing snowboard, and she made a mistake in the early part of a quarterfinal run and could not make up the time, lost by 0.06. So no third gold medal for Esther Ledeshka. Gold instead went to Czechia's Zuzana Madarova. Silver went to Sabina Payer from Austria, and bronze went to Lucia Del Masso from Italy. They're raking in the bronzes. If you were doing a medal prediction, I hope you took Italy in bronze for a lot of things. They're going to get some silver and golds, but hope you pick that. On the men's side, gold went to Austria's Benjamin Karl, who ripped his shirt off after the win.
As you will on a mountain.
Right.
That makes perfect sense.
Silver went to Kim Sang-kyum from Korea, and bronze went to Tervel Zamfirov from Bulgaria. In speed skating, which is what I went to, gold went, we had the 5,000 meter for the men tonight. So long competition. Everyone expected Sander Eitrem from Norway to win because he was the first man to break 6 minutes in this event just a couple weeks ago. He slipped on the start.
Oh.
And still smashed the Olympic record by a good bit.
Jeez.
Yeah, he was a machine. It took him like 200 or 300 meters to get it back. But when you got 5,000 meters, you got plenty of time. So it was great. He was in the same pair with the silver medalist Metodej Jilic from Czechia. And Jilic said he skated better because he was in this pair. I would not be surprised.
Right, because if you're trying to keep up with the a record holder, that's going to push you even harder because you think when it's in a pair, I got to stay with this guy.
Yeah. And then bronze went to Italy's Riccardo Lorello. Italy had a bunch of really good skaters in the mix, and one of the early pairs was leading for quite some time. So Italy's got some up and comers. I will say that the speed skating venue was a sea of orange.
Yes.
A little bit of Norway. In one
and then
corner.
everyone always cheers for Italy.
Yes.
But it's orange, and more orange.
But,
and we haven't said the Netherlands yet in either of these events.
No, not at all. But they also cheered for Sander Eitram because they understood how good he is. So that was really, really nice. We need to go back to this Oompa band that you mentioned.
Yes. Did you see it?
Did I see it? Undersell. Oh my gosh, they were amazing. I love a good brass band. So this was like maybe 10 people.
It was big.
It was big. And they had like horns and trombones and a little baritone action going on. Cymbals. They had a guy with drums and like stand-up drum, kind of bass drum thing that they would march down the street with or something in a parade. And they did.
It was a parade band.
Yes. And they did play all the hits like Sweet Caroline. They played Volare. They played Sweet Caroline. They played some Coldplay. They might have played Living on a Prayer. Yeah, Living on a Prayer. And it just kind of kept going. The problem was they started like 45 minutes before the competition began. So when they were done, there was nothing really exciting
for a while. The other thing I noticed, and tell me if you notice this, that inner lane, the warm-up and cool-down lane, gets really crowded, and I got nervous.
They know what they're doing.
I know they know what they're doing, but it looks, and I'm sure it's a trick of the eye. Visually, it really looks like they're going to crash into each other left and right.
Yeah. I did see the job you wanted to do with the little catcher.
The little bucket and catcher.
Yeah. So it's kind of like pretend, if you haven't seen this, pretend you're on skates and you have almost a rake, but instead of tines, the rake top is a mesh thing that catches all of the little red cones that are in the corners. I felt like it was a golf ball retrieval thing.
Yes.
When you go to a driving range, just not motorized, you would be the motor. It was really cool looking.
I can be a motor. But it's the Olympics, so we don't allow motors.
Right. I did get chastised because somebody thought I was taking a video and like, I know better. I didn't say I know better, but I'm like, no, it's photo. Like, okay. A lot of people were getting kicked out of our little press seats because they had nowhere to sit.
That has apparently become a huge problem because the press areas are so small, in fact, too small for the number of press, that volunteers are having to kick people out of the press area if they're not, in fact, press. Whereas usually the press area, some riffraff, along with our riffraff, volunteers and other people from the organizing committee will sit there. But because there's so few press seating, there isn't enough seating for the actual press.
Yeah, it's really tight for that. And of course, these were like people affiliated with teams. And they were like, well, where do I go? There's no room left in our section either. So this is an issue. It's not fun. I'll tell you, I got really worried about not being able to like have my laptop open because I have no lap in these seats. I just can barely touch the ground with my feet. So if I want to make a lap, I got to
put your feet on the seat in front of you.
Well, there was nothing in front of me because I was in the very front. I was in front of the tables, right on the on the finish line.
There's a little section on the curve.
Oh yeah.
Where there's two rows, and if you sit in the back row, you can kind of balance your feet on the back of the seat, even if there's a person in it, and create a little knee table for yourself.
Yeah, this is rough. I will say that, but that is not neither here nor there. the track looks nice.
Yeah.
Looks good. They're taking good care of it. Did see a medal ceremony. Did not like the medal uniforms.
Really?
No, they blend into the ground.
Yes.
They're one note. I mean, granted, they're blue and brown. Both of those. They're muted shades. I don't like the pants. I don't like them at all because they just look like they fade. The problem is they fade in with every other dignitary that is there because they're wearing generally some winter coat kind of thing that's dark. And it's really hard to distinguish these people. I don't like it.
And we're also coming off of Beijing and Paris.
And Pyeongchang. Let's not forget those.
Right. So some really beautiful medal presenter costumes. This is a disappointment. It's not a vibe.
It's not a vibe, and it's definitely we got something from a fashion school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry to say I get going with the fashion school because they did have like a little competition with the school. That's really cool, and somebody gets to win a competition and have that in their portfolio. But they did look student project-y. And they do really have that 1970s Italian movie vibe.
They do have that 70s Italian vibe. And they kept playing that Italian song that's fake English from the 1970s. I think because someone would just subliminally, wow, twice in one show, and I can't say the word either time, sees those uniforms and just immediately creates a 1970s vibe in their head. It's a 70s vibe.
It's not a vibe for me or this show. Team Keep the Flame Alive is competing tomorrow.
Erin Jackson skating in the 1,000.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. We should just go now.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think either one of us can go to this tomorrow.
Yes, because I'm excited about this. I'm going on a cultural day trip out to the mountains tomorrow.
And I have an evening cultural event.
Oh, that's right. I'm glad you signed up for this evening cultural event, which does have an Olympic connection.
Yes.
So
as does yours. I think it does.
Okay, we'll find that thread. So,
because remember, in Ilya's song, it tells us that the past is not a chain; it's a thread.
Yeah. All right, and we have shout outs.
So first up is Ross from Tennessee.
There are not many Olympic Rosses, but there is Ross Green, who competed for Great Britain in alpine skiing and the 2002 Winter Olympics. So there you go, Ross. He was born in Scotland. So you know he had a good accent.
I'm not going to complain.
He competed in downhill, did not start, 29th in the giant slalom, and 15th in the combined.
Not bad.
That's pretty good. And then our second shout out of the day
is author Lee Addison Smith in Southwest Michigan.
And Smith is spelled with a Y. So we're going with that because there was no Lee Addison Smith. But we're close with an Eilish Smith, S-M-Y-T-H. All of those Smiths were all Summer Olympians. I hate to say it. But Eilish Smith is from Ireland. And she competed at Seoul 1988 in athletics in the marathon. Got 46th. Thank you so much to our shout-out donors. And we have a mascot.
Yes, we're talking about Jill's mascot again today, Abby, who is a tortie cat. And I didn't know what that was, so I had to look it up. And it has to do with her coloring. And she is incredibly beautiful.
Yes, it's like brownish, orangish here and there. Yeah, it's speckled like a tortoise. And that is going to do it for this episode. If you want even more of the most fun coverage of these games, hit us up. We are at flamealivepod.com. That's also your source for our socials and our newsletter where you could see a picture of Abby every day. That's good. And there are direct ways to contact us there. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for what we forgot to tell you about today. That's really what you're tuning in for now. What'd you forget? What did you forget? And you can tell us what we forgot too. We'd love to hear that as well because there's only two of us and there's a lot of Olympics to cover. So if we're missing anything big, let us know. Grazie mille per l'ascolto.
And until next time, ciao. and keep the flame alive.